How's it going, gamers? Hello, viewers. This is my Rosso Blu deck. Yeah, Rosso Blu. I love this deck. This is my favorite deck of Booster Set 2. And we're going to go into a deep dive how I concocted the ultimate Rosso Blu deck. So we'll talk about the setup, the win con. I think we'll probably go over each card and talk about the setup, kind of like how you want to play, and that's really it. Just those two things. I think is going to cover the main thing. There's a lot of little tidbits to go into when we go through the deck, and then I'll kind of show you how I like to play it, and then hopefully you can play some Rosso Blu and enjoy it. And so let's get started. So it's a almost 50-50 split of Rosso and Blue, leaning towards the level 3s, and then one random little blue there. So let's talk the kind of standard, maybe not the standard, but the basic concept, right? Basic concept is revolving around scenes. So Rosso can discard a scene card from your hand and then activate its one enters play effect. So you can activate any of your scenes. If you have the lead, you can play a scene and then discard another scene to get like a double scene effect. Like that's a really insane power play. And then blue, once you're done with your scenes, blue can twice per turn exile one scene card from your discard and give one of your Rosso Blu plus 1000. So you can start spraying the power all over, and it goes quite crazy. So your main goals is really to set these up. They work on double or triple, but you'll notice that both of them have 11,000 power on the double. So doubles, not really ideal, but they get the job done. So if we really want Rosso and Blue at triples, and because their double is weak, why are we only playing these ones? Well, the fact is, really, it's how the scenes work and how much value you get out of these ones up here is the true juice. So I'm not really sure how to get started. I think because we mentioned that, it'll be best to jump over the scenes really quick. There's going to be 11 scenes. The reason there's 11 scenes is because I tried 10 scenes and I didn't have scenes when I wanted to have scenes for Rosso. So I went up to 12 scenes, and then I had way too many scenes. It felt like I was getting scenes all the time, and then I went down to 11 because I figured that's the perfect one, and the extra one became a little blue. So we'll just review the effects for the scenes really quick. So Feral Icarus is your best scene because it does a BP grade decrease for your opponent. What we have to protect is our second best scene because it lets us get a lot of more consistency. When you play it, you can discard one card and draw a card. So you're gonna, when you play this scene, then you get a new card from the scene. So you get to see one more card, and then you get to discard and draw another card. So this is where you're gonna see extra cards in the deck, which is gonna help your deck run smoothly. So that's why it's our second best scene. And then you can also get plus 1000 BP if you have a blue. If you have both, then you get both effects. It's great, and you usually have both. And then lastly, we have In the Name of Ultraman, which gives one of your own characters a BP grade increase. So it's the opposite of Feral Icarus. So the reason, what you'll notice is that a lot of the power plays revolve around BP grade decrease or BP grade increase. So when you consider a vanilla card by itself is a 9,000, which is pretty strong. It's going to contest with a lot of doubles that have effects. So right, for example, our Rosso Blu, if it's a double, it's a 9,000. So I can play a single here and it's contesting. If I get a plus 1 BP from what we have to protect, it's now 10, which means it's going to beat your opponent's double as just one card. That's one thing. For 13, it's going to beat a lot of things. Plus 1 BP to make a 14 beats pretty much every other double in the game. And then because we can also have In the Name of Ultraman to go up to a 17, if I play this as a double, it's a 13, which is dangerous for your opponent, and it can go bump itself to a 17. So basically the numbers are so good on these vanilla cards that, yeah, it's just way too good. It's just way too good, these numbers on these vanilla cards, because you can BP up and BP minus a lot of other things, and you just start winning. Like one other example is if your opponent has a, we can just play a mirror match here, right? So your opponent has a Rosso Blu, a Rosso as a double against your vanilla Rosso, All you have to do is use a Farewell Icarus on your opponent, and they're going to actually go down to 8,000, and you're at 9,000, so you win. So you can actually beat your opponent's doubles just because of the fact that it's a 9,000 power by itself. So it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly how good the numbers are. So when you play it, you'll realize how strong this is, and why it skews towards here. So the other reason why we don't have as many ones is because you don't have a lot of space. So you need to have these level 3s, and also these guys work on double. So we're going to maximize what's going on up here, and then only do what we really need, which is these ones that help us search other cards. Right, they both look at the top 3 and give us an ultra hero, so they're helping us build our card advantage and help us keep going throughout the game. And then this is where the powerhouse of the deck, right? We got 8 level 2, so we can make doubles as consistently as possible. Even having Rossos and Blues as doubles is totally fine. They're very, very strong even as doubles because you get their effects. And you have so much BP grade shenanigans. So the last 2 questions about the deck setup is, why is this blue here? This blue here is because the Ultraman Blue level 2 is also one of the strongest cards in this deck because it looks top 5 for a blue or Rosso, and then you add it to your hand, and if you do, you discard a card. But it only works as a double. So I need that 1 extra blue to make it slightly more likely that we're going to get a double for that and have a better setup for the game. And then the last one you might be wondering is, there's a blue with an effect, right? Why aren't you playing the blue with effect? So the reason we're not playing the blue with effect is, 1, because I think this card looks way cooler, and 2, because the blue with an effect is a 10,000 as a double, and if it's next to Rosso, it gets plus 1,000, which means it's conditionally 11,000. But this one as a double is always 11,000. So there's no shenanigans, right? Like, I can just get the 11,000 and not worry about it. The argument for the other one is that it does have a triple power, so you could, in the name of Ultraman, it up to like a 15 or something like that. I don't remember the numbers, but I don't really care about that one, because hopefully if I have this as a 1-2 double, it's going to become a blue, and I don't care about that last number. And if it's by itself, it can become an 11, which is better than becoming a 10. So the number, like this deck really shows you the power of vanilla numbers. The blue Rosso, on the other hand, I'm not playing the vanilla here because it's 11 as a double by itself, and if it's next to a blue, it becomes a 12. So it's really strong. So that's it for the deck construction. I'll show you a little bit of kind of how it would play. So I think when we're looking to mulligan, we're looking for these guys, because we do want to build a triple ideally. So we want to start setting up with some level 1s in the beginning, and we basically just play as many levels 1s as we can, and hopefully we can set up, ideally you can set up a Rosso triple or a blue triple, and then you'll probably like have enough oomph to survive. I would say the strongest play is you can do so. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. Basically, you want to play all your cards that get you extra cards as much as you can. So this one is, these 2 let you get your cards as much as you can. This one's going to add scenes to your cards. So the first 2 to 3 turns, this is all you care about. Getting extra cards. On lane 3, if you feel like there's a threat of you losing, you need to play a Rosso double in lane 3. Whether it's this or whether it's this. Even if you have to lose the scene effect, you have to play that Rosso as a double in lane 3. Because in combination with Farewell Icarus or in the name of Ultraman, it's going to be very, very hard for you to lose on that turn. So that's why we can be a little greedy and just draw, like kind of play as many of these like draw effects, searching effects as you want and as you can, because when you have that Rosso protection to survive the turn 3 layup, the turn 3 blast, the turn 3 aggro, then you have the opportunity to kind of dig and figure out how your game's going. And once you got past that turn 3, then you can start to figure out what to do. So then it kind of gets a little free ball it, but the general idea is you're happy to play either way. You don't need to force lead, because all your effects are activates, and activates are super, super good when you're not lead, because you get to see what your opponent's doing, and then you get to use the minimum amount of cards from your hand and your resources to just survive. or if you can see a win, you can go for a win. And if you're playing from the lead, then you can do double scene plays, which are super strong and can just win you the game there. So that's pretty much it for the deck. Let me know if you have any questions at the bottom in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see another deck, a little deep dive on other decks, let us know. I'm trying to keep these a little bit short and sweet. I really enjoyed the ARC video that I did, where I really like dug into every variation of the deck that I built, but I think this is the most concise way of sharing with you how I got to this version of the deck, where I played 16 scenes. No, not a good idea. I played something like this, which was heavy on the ones, but then I didn't have enough setup, and then eventually it just came to the thought and realization that Rosso Blu excels as more of an aggressive strategy. So playing level two, level 3 doubles is much more effective for the deck than playing 1-2 doubles. And having triples is essentially like a bonus. It's essentially a bonus, like a happy birthday, because as long as you can get like a Rosso and a blue set up, even if they're both doubles, you can make some magic happen. So do not underestimate the 2-3 doubles. That's essentially what it came down to, and that's how this deck ended up existing as it exists. I think you could, last little thoughts is you could swap these for some of the cards that BP boost themselves if you have the right type of opponent. But I'm not as keen on those because I really want to be able to hit a 17 on a double with in the name of Ultraman. And they're also 8 by themselves, and I told you the 9 is actually pretty important. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the Rosso Blu. Try this version out. I think there's a lot of like solid ways to play the deck. I've seen like 6, 8, 6 on these. I don't know exactly how to do the numbers. Something like this. Yeah. So 6 level 1s, 8 level 2s, 6 level 3s, 10 scenes. I think that's also, at that point, it's pretty much preference, but I found 11 to be the perfect number of scenes, and then kind of work the rest of the deck around it. So I'm rambling. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.